There's this funny thing about being the main character. People think it's all about having the most Instagram followers or doing whatever TikTok trend is popular this week. But in reality, most main characters don't even realize they're main characters. They're just living their lives while everyone else is watching, taking notes, and wondering how they manage to make eating a sandwich look like an Oscar-worthy performance. So how do you actually become the main character? What's the hidden secret to making people naturally gravitate toward you? It's actually very easy. And I was about to spend weeks reading through psychology textbooks to find the answer. But then I remembered I already have student loans that make me cry myself to sleep. So let's skip that part. First, let's understand what being the main character actually means. In psychology, we'd call this having presence. That quality that makes people notice when you enter a room and miss you when you leave. It's like being a human Wi-Fi signal. When you're gone, everyone's frantically looking around wondering why they suddenly feel disconnected. Being the main character is basically just a cycle, and this is what it looks like. First, you develop self-awareness. Self-awareness makes you authentic. Authenticity makes people gravitate toward you. People gravitating toward you reinforces your self-awareness. Around and around it goes, like that hamster wheel in your brain at 3 a.m. when you remember every weird thing you've ever done. The more self-aware you are, the more authentic you become. So, every time you think of becoming the main character, just think of this cycle. Because even though it simplifies a lot of stuff, it's easy to remember, and it explains pretty much everything. For example, how can some people walk into a room wearing what's essentially a potato sack, but somehow command all the attention? Meanwhile, you're there in your carefully planned outfit that took 17 outfit changes and the tears of your roommate who just wanted to use the bathroom, and yet you still feel invisible. It's because when you're truly self-aware, your confidence goes sky high, and no amount of self-doubt, awkwardness, or that weird thing your face does when you're nervous will be enough to stop you. The cycle also explains why some people seem to make friends effortlessly, while others struggle. It's like they have some kind of friendship cheat code, but really they're just being authentically themselves. Because each time a self-aware person interacts with someone, they're very obviously showing their authentic self. I am who I am. Take it or leave it. Though preferably take it because rejection hurts and I'm soft on the inside like a perfectly toasted marshmallow. And this is why the most magnetic people almost always have a strong sense of identity. They know themselves better than that one aunt who somehow knows your entire life story, even though you only see her once a year at Christmas. If you don't feel like the main character right now, you can still start up the cycle with some psychological tricks. First, identify your personal values, what matters to you. When you know what you stand for, you naturally attract people who align with those values, and repel those who don't, which is honestly a bonus, like a built-in jerk repellent. Next, develop a personal narrative. The human brain is wired for stories, and main characters have compelling ones. Think about your life as a hero's journey. What obstacles have you overcome? What are you working toward? When did you realize that pineapple absolutely does or does not belong on pizza? Talk amongst yourselves. And finally, embrace your quirks. Research shows that the pratfall effect means people find you more likable when you show your imperfections. Main characters aren't perfect. They're perfectly imperfect. Like that one crooked tooth that somehow makes your smile more charming, or the way you can't say specifically without saying pacifically first. But having said all this, you also don't have to start with self-awareness. If you want to turn the cycle on, you can just start with authenticity. For example, if you wake up one day and you feel really invisible, just be authentic anyway. It can even be just one small authentic interaction, like admitting to the barista that you don't actually understand what a macchiato is, but you order it to sound sophisticated. And this is the secret. Don't wait for confidence. Start being authentic now and get confident as you go. It's like jumping into a cold pool. The longer you stand at the edge thinking about it, the worse it gets. Just cannonball in there and scream like a banshee. It's said that people with main character energy spend at least 2 hours a day in activities that align with their true selves. Which means that even on those days when they don't feel like the center of attention, they still have to wake up and do something authentic. And they're not sitting in bed telling themselves, "Today I need to make everyone notice me and think I'm amazing." Because that's a huge task that they don't have the motivation for. That's like telling yourself you're going to clean your entire apartment, get in shape, learn Italian, and finally understand what cryptocurrency is, all before noon. Instead, what they actually do is wake up and think, "I'm just going to do one small thing that's truly me today." And 12 hours later, somehow, they've had 4 deep conversations, made 2 new connections, and become the leader of 78 different group projects. Which is honestly too many projects. Learn to say no, dude. 'Cause being authentic is what makes you the main character, when nothing else will. Of course, the cycle can get broken. Things like social anxiety, overthinking, and people-pleasing are all things that can throw a wrench in the works. Social anxiety. One thing that works well is changing your focus from yourself to others. Instead of thinking, "What are they thinking about me?" ask, "What can I learn about them?" Or my personal favorite, "Would this person share their fries with me at 2 a.m. without judgment?" If the answer is no, their opinion doesn't matter anyway. Overthinking. When you catch yourself spiraling, remember that most people are too busy worrying about their own lives to notice your awkward laugh or that weird thing you said. While you're replaying that social faux pas for the 47th time, they are worrying about whether they have spinach in their teeth or if their ex viewed their Instagram story. And lastly, people-pleasing. According to many psychologists, people-pleasing is the enemy to authentic presence. It's like wearing a costume to every social interaction. Eventually, the zipper gets stuck, you start sweating, and someone has to cut you out of it while you cry in the bathroom. Not that I'm speaking from experience or anything. In practice, becoming the main character looks like this. Notice yourself, express authentically, and get comfortable with not everyone liking you. It's not that deep, but it works. And once you get good at it, it's kind of fun. When someone asks what you do for fun, don't say, "Oh, I like movies." Say, "I collect vintage typewriters, and I write letters to my future self every month. Also, I can name every type of cheese in a blindfolded taste test," which is either impressive or concerning, depending on who you ask. So the next time you're feeling invisible, express something authentic and see what happens. Worst case, they think you're weird, and you move on with your life. Best case, you've just become the main character.